What's up everybody, Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Halo Infinite video. And in this video, we're gonna break down some epic gameplay from two top pro teams, OpTic versus Cloud9, where OpTic managed to run a clinic on a good team using a combination of some really solid fundamentals and some insane strategy. So we're gonna break it all down so that you can incorporate it in your games and start to climb all the way to Onyx and beyond. But I'm gonna need you to gently caress that like, subscribe, and let's jump right in. Now this is actually Capture the Flag on Bazaar, and things kick off right off the bat here. I want you to see just how aggressive OpTic takes mid control here. They're not messing around at all, and Trippy is running right into the middle, right in the middle of the map. And while they do lose high ground here, they do gain some really powerful things. First off, they get the dynamo grenades right there that is going to allow them to control mid doors. That's a very, very powerful thing that you should be actively contesting. Dynamo grenades can heavily punish enemies for grouping up and destroy their shields, and it's a pseudo AoE, preventing enemies from pushing an area. And then two, they get to hold the position mid, where it's really hard for grenades to actually hit, and you actually see multiple times Trippy just dodges the grenades that fly by because there's no back wall or cubby, so it's not that easy to actually get Trippy with a grenade here. And now they have the absolute advantage. And the reason is overshield's about to spawn, and they're so close they can easily touch it or grab it in between fights. So now, all they have to do is be incredibly patient. They baited out the grenades, they took control of the dynamo grenade and mid, and now they're just waiting. And they're gonna keep waiting here till eventually the enemy peek out a little bit too aggressively. They can focus them down, and then the enemy has to back off, and they get to grab overshield for free and then use it to make a play. This puts the burden of action on Cloud9 actually, which is exactly what they do. Cloud9 try to make a play after they get an initial pick, and they're trying to execute this quickly, but Cloud9 is there to punish them from mid, gets to wrap and collapse on them, and then they get to get those kills, and they get to get overshield as well. Now this showcases some of the fundamental strategies that you should be incorporating in your games, where you can take space aggressively, take these powerful angles, these power weapons, these grenades, and hold them aggressively. And then once you get there aggressively right off the rip, then you can be really patient and you can let the enemy make mistakes, hold the angles, and be there up close to punish enemies when they try to make a beeline for those overshields. And a lot of times, especially in ranked, from an individualistic point of view, enemies are not going to be prepared when you immediately push up very aggressively, take this space right away, and you're waiting for them to make a move first, and you're looking to punish them. Now, next up, I want to showcase this freaking flag grab and toss with the grapple hook. Look at how sick this is. He actually throws the freaking flag along the side right here, and they basically grapple hook, because once it's off the platform, it can be grappled, and it was grappled through this area, so they didn't have to have someone run it through, because if someone has to run through this open space, they're almost assured to die. So doing this basically meant that they didn't have to take damage when transferring the flag from this really enclosed space to the next really enclosed space. Now, unfortunately, APG probably made a mistake here, and I think it would have been far better if he would have tucked and just lived, because his presence alone creates a lot of pressure where enemies can't just go and push the enemy. However, even still, he did generate some amount of pressure, and the fact that he got this flag out of this initial area is still good already. Now, they're gonna drop the flag in Cafe, and they're doing this on purpose, and this is something that you should be doing often when you're playing Capture the Flag. Do not beeline it all the way to the other side. You need to be dropping it in enclosed areas and then fighting to try to prevent enemies from coming to contest you. Play a team fight. Try to get picks first and regenerate your shield before you decide to take the flag and move it to the next enclosed location or the next safe position. Now also, I wanted to use these clips to showcase the power of the Mangler. In these close areas, it just completely slaps, two-tapping, actually just completely destroying shields with only 2 body shots. Of course, with 1 body shot into melee, you can just kill people outright because of the increased melee damage. And you can really just see the power level of it in a lot of these preceding fights, where it's just completely bodying people, and it's something that you should be contesting often, and especially when you're holding these upper areas around Cafe and in any enclosed space, it's just completely dominant. Now, a lot of you solo queue warlords are gonna be like, hey, yeah, these guys have a perfect team. I don't have that, so it's impossible for me to carry. But I want to really highlight OLA, because this man is freaking frying, going on a killing spree and then just racking up kill after kill after kill. And I want to showcase what he does, because you can do this in your games and it's so powerful. So he's actually taking control of Cafe on the enemy side, which is really strong. And the way that he can hold this so well is he does have overshield, which he fought for earlier, and he has shotgun, which he controls. But of course, you could do this with just mangler or shotgun or just overshield. But watch how, because he's here, he gets to have complete control over the enemies leaving their spawn and their flow, the traffic flow back into the battlefield. He gets to pop his overshield because he hears an enemy running along the side. Then he gets to peek out and he fights this person without dropping. And a lot of players would probably drop here, but that's bad for two big reasons. One, you're gonna give up your position, which this is the God position where you get to control so much about who enters and exits the battlefield. And two, if the enemy melees him, he's probably gonna win, but he's gonna waste the rest of his overshield, which he doesn't want to do. Now, watch as he comes back after he gets that kill, and his buddy dies in the corner, and he's gonna actually double spike grenade here, one on each side, and he's not even gonna wait for the enemy to run out because the spike grenade is gonna actually spread out to where the enemy is gonna die 100%, and he knows this, so he's not even gonna worry about it. He's chucking the grenades, and he's moving on to the next engagement. Now, next up, he's actually gonna fight two players back to back, and I want to really showcase how he doesn't tunnel vision. He's not trying to go hard and kill these people. All he's trying to do is maintain control of this space, putting in enough pressure to force the enemies back, but not so much so that he runs out and potentially gets killed. If he has control of this up here, this aggressive position, he gets to completely control the state of the battlefield. And he's almost uncontestable because he has shotgun here, unless they send like 2 or maybe even 3 enemies after him. And he's still sandbagging that last thrust in case he needs it. And that's just a big takeaway for you. Make sure that you're utilizing every single ability you have. And sometimes you need to really sandbag that last one because you never know when that last thruster will come in really clutch. And don't just use it just because you have it every single time. Now in this next fight, you're gonna really see how controlling the enemy's high ground is so powerful. Any movement he hears, and he hears another person traveling left lane, in fact 2 people, and he's gonna be able to contest left lane and mid doors very, very easily from where he's holding. Now once again, him and Trippy are gonna pinch 2 enemies on the left side, and basically C9 have 0 space. Now, if you don't know what that means, it means the angles and areas on the map that they can make plays from. And the best way to explain it is that C9 would feel completely claustrophobic here. Like, they don't have anything, like they're trapped in a box. There's no options. Everywhere they move, everywhere they go, they're getting shot from a different angle. There's nowhere that's safe. They can't contest anything, and it just feels impossible to win. Now, on top of that, because OpTic has so much space, they get Rocket for free, and they get to snowball this even further. Now they have the Rocket, they get to force the flag capture, and they get to use the Rocket to clean up on any kills or any people that want to contest the flag. Now, this is just a complete stomp by OpTic, and it really begs the question, what are the big things that C9 did wrong that you could be doing wrong in your games? Well, the first thing is not contesting power or taking map control. We really saw right off the bat how fast OpTic took that map control. They really played to capture these weapons. They played to capture these abilities, and they did it very deliberately. They took mid very aggressively. They got to the dynamo grenades right off the bat, and it really helped them take control of that mid area. And really, they were patient and they waited. They waited for the opportunity to strike and kind of punish an overeager enemy. And this is something that's going to be even easier to do in ranked play, because a lot of times people are like right next to an overshield or right next to a rocket launcher, and they're like, ooh, a piece of candy, and they're gonna just run at it. And if you're waiting somewhere in a passive position out of LOS ready to punish, you're gonna be able to kill them so easily, get a free kill and an upgraded item or weapon in the process. Now, the other thing that C9 did wrong, in my opinion, they really did not respect the Mangler. The Mangler really was a clinic in these games, and it just showcased, if you looked at the kill feed and you looked at the gameplay, it got so many kills, and it's one of the best weapons at actually trading up with your life or potentially just taking these ISO 1v1s, because if you can get to full health, you're guaranteed to get a free kill in a 1v1 if the enemy is close to you. All you have to do is shoot them and melee them and they're dead, and that's really, really powerful, and I don't think that the enemy respected that enough. And it didn't help that they lost so much control of the mid space and the map control right off the bat. So it was almost like they had to play into Mangler, but they didn't invest enough resources into wiping off the players or taking back any control at all. If they were to do it again, they probably should start trying to take control together as a team, slowly. Clear out top left cafe on their side, clear out their high ground, make sure that that no people that they send through mid or send through right side get jumped on or shot from above, and then after that they could go vie for mid space again. But the thing is, you got to be very efficient when you do this, because the longer you take to do this, the more chances you're going to give the enemy to grab things like the freaking spanker or grab the overshield. So the faster you can regroup, reset your mental, and retake that space, that's the route to victory. But if you learned something in this video, I really want you to smash that like, subscribe, and let me down below what other games you want me to break down, what modes, what maps, whatever. I'll make that content. Just let me know. Thanks so much for coming by. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.